Kottmeistern for today's video with a Swift Swim ability Pokemon team. I'm back with Team uploads. People, I'm sorry I've been very busy, but we are back and I've got lots of videos coming your way. Tonight we're going to have a look at some Pokemon that have the Swift Swim ability, and I tried to include some Pokemon that weren't only water type either. It made for a pretty swimming team, and I got some really cool battles. Basically with Swift Swim, once the rain is active, your Pokemon's speed gets doubled, so they're very fast. Alright, first battle here, we got a random battle, and we got a Ribombee lead. It took me by surprise that they used Sticky Web. I've totally never seen that one before. Alright, so we have a Dreadnought lead here. This Dreadnought is probably one of the better sets on my team. A little while ago, Dreadnought did get Shell Smash, so this is going to be a Shell Smash Dreadnought. This set was actually alright for this team because sometimes I got countered a lot with these weather teams because people would bring another weather along. They'd bring Trick Room, they'd lead with like really easy counters. So unless I couldn't get the rain up, it was quite convenient. So in comes Archlude there expecting a physical type move, and Rock Blast actually misses, which is really funny because they actually managed to dodge at least a 4 to 5 hit Rock Blast, which would have given them multiple stamina. So I thought I'm just going to go for Terra Ground here and go for Earthquake and try and take this thing out. This is a fairly strong set. So we got Max Attack and Max Speed Adamant Nature, Terra Ground, Loaded Dice, Swift Swim. We got Shell Smash, Earthquake, just for any Steel type Pokemon. Rock Blast and Razor Shell. I thought I'd put a fun water type move on there. It also has a 50% chance to drop the defense, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's the end of Archlude. They must have been a bit salty after that miss. And in comes Salmon. Now, I've got to say, I do like smoked salmon. Very nice. I don't know if Vasculegion would taste that good, though, not going to lie. Anyway, so we're going to go for a couple of Rock Blast here. This time, it's not going to miss. And that is the end of Vasculegion, which is really good. A powerful Pokemon. Alright, so we got Ribombee there. Next Pokemon is going to be Moveset. So, this team was a very competitive team for sure, as you can see. So I thought, look, even if you go for a Terra Ghost or something like that, Rock Blast is still going to be a really good move. So I'm going to go for Rock Blast here, and it's doing some really good damage. So obviously just a generic population boom, Moveset there. So that's down. So we're getting a nice juicy Dreadnought sweep at the moment. Next Pokemon, of course, is Ribombee. So I was thinking, well, this will probably have a Focus Sash. They generally do. Sometimes they don't. And that got dropped there. So that's Ribombee down. So we're getting an easy sweep at the moment. Out comes Pelipper called Dr. Pepper. I have no idea. Does Pelipper like to drink that? I'm not sure. And then they set the rain up for me. It was pretty funny because I was like, this is a Swift 13. So they just doubled my speed again. So I've got Rock Blast. I thought, look, even if they went for a defensive, like a Terra Water or something like that, it's still going to do tons of damage, and Pelipper is going to faint here. That's 5 Pokemon down, and then they salty rage quit. Oh, little bro was absolutely fuming. All right, let's get a like on the video, people. Some fresh salt there. It's been a week since our last scene team. Let's get them likes happening. Let's get them comments happening right now. Tell me your favorite Swift Swim Pokemon. Give me a comment. Did you miss the vids? Let me know all about it. I love talking to you guys in the comment section and stuff like that. All right, let's get on to battle number 2 here. This was an interesting battle as well. So I got quite a couple of good random battles here with this team. So first Pokemon's going to be Duraludon, and obviously they're going to be setting up the Stealth Rock. Now this is a pretty cool set I put on my Overquill. So this is a special Overquill. So we got Red Card and Toxic Spikes, Rain Dance, Venoshock, and Dank Pulse, right? So we got Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. So this is pretty funny, right? So I knew they had an obvious Shell Smash Cloyster on the team, and that's going to be very powerful. So I thought if I set the Toxic Spikes up and I get a red card, and then I can set the Rain Dance up, Venoshock is going to do like tons of damage because Cloyster's special defense is trash, right? And Overquill's special attack isn't very good either, but Cloyster got dropped. Easy counter there. So bye Cloyster. Beautiful stuff there. 65 base special attack on Overkill, by the way. Out comes Fairs and Deputy Obus. I knew they'd absorb then, but I thought I'd take a chance at the start with Cloyster, and it worked. You know, Cloyster actually randomly came in. This Pokemon was a bit of a pain for my team because I knew it's very bulky and, you know, it could absorb my Toxic Spikes combination, which I used for on a couple of Pokemon. So I swapped in Dreadnought. I just want to see what they're going to do here. You know, generally just like bulky, stally sets with one, you know, sort of like a status move or, you know, Toxic or Roost, and then, you know, Moonblast and stuff like that. However, Dreadnought is going to cause a swap, which is pretty cool. So in comes Duraludon. So we had an Archaludon and then a Duraludon. So I put Earthquake here, and Earthquake does really, really good damage. I'm very, very happy about that. So I thought, will they swap out here, or will they just, you know, let Duraludon go? And they did. So Duraludon is going to go there, which is great. That's just a bulky Pokemon out the way. So that was, I guess that was a little bit of a weakness there for their core, I guess. Next Pokemon's going to be Armorogue. Now, I smell a rat. I knew this was going to be, I was like, this has to be Terra Grass, right? But maybe they just won't go for that because there's no rain up. But I had a feeling it might be, because they generally are a lot of the time. Aura Sphere is going to take out my Dreadnought, so I was fine with that. So I swapped back in the Overkill. Now, I thought I might be able to get the rain up here. Let's see. Or at worst, they'll go for Armor Cannon and drop their defenses, right? So Armor Cannon is going to take Overkill out. I wasn't really surprised by that at all. I wasn't running any speed on this thing. I only had 4 in speed because I was using Swift Swim. So that's all good. We're going to bring a Basculegion. So this is the female Basculegion. And this one's a special sweeper. It's quite fun. So we've got max health, 144 in special attack, and 76 in speed. So it was like it was still hitting pretty hard, but it had enough speed after the rain too. So we got a Terra Grass there as expected, and we have Psychic. So I set the rain up here, which is good. Now with that bulk I gave it and the rain, it's actually able to live quite a few hits. So I've got Ice Beam on this, and then they're going to pop an Endure. So like, Weakness Policy or something like that, or a Pinch Berry. It could be any of those things. So I went for that Ice Beam there. It's going to live on 1 health, obviously, and we've got a little activation here. And the activation was the Weakness Policy. So that's pretty, pretty common. And I've got anything to take this out. I've got Ice Beam, Muddy Water, and Hex. Hex was there for some Ghost Stab, and it was also there to double in base power with the Overkill's Toxic Spike. So a lot of the time I would only just put 1 layer up, and that would, you know, boost the Venoshock and the Hex. Anyway, that's the end of their Terra Poker, which is good. We worked around that one pretty easy, and we set the rain up. This has a Damp Rocket as the item too. This became quite a problem for my team because it is a very, it's quite a good, bulky standard set here. And it was difficult to get around. And they had a couple of the Pokemon in the back that was kind of scary that I was thinking about here too. So I thought, I'll try my hand at 1 Water, but I don't know how much it's going to do because I'm not running, you know, max special attack. Now they're going to have a bulky Calm mindset, which is, you know, pretty common, and we know they're going to have a recovery move or a Toxic and stuff like that. So I thought I'm going to have to try and do some more damage to them. So I swapped out there and went into Beartic. Now this is a troll set. It probably was the worst set on my team. Like, it definitely was by far. So I see them setting all these Calm Minds up, and I thought, you know what, Beartic is pretty cool because it actually gets Swift Swim. I don't know why Beartic gets Swift Swim for. I guess, I don't know, are polar bears, like, they must be really good. I guess they're really good swimmers because they have to, like, swim for prey and stuff like that, and that's where it came from. But this was a Swift Swim sheer gold set, and it landed first go, which is nice because it stopped all this stalling, so it made the battle quite interesting. So now they've got 2 more Pokemon left, so I thought, well, it's definitely going to have first impression. They've all been standard sets. And I went for Aquajet here. Now, my EVs are max health and max speed and Jolly Nature. So I managed to get a couple of weak Aquajets off there. The rain sort of boosted it up a little bit, which is nice. And Low Kicks is going to finish me off with U-Turn. So it's got U-Turn and first impression. But, Beartic did much better than I thought it would do. Most of the time, it just died there and missed every Sheer Cold. The other moves I had were Rain Dance and Hard Press, and also had Damp Rock, and that was Terra Ice too. Not that I ever terrored him. So out comes old Toedscruel. Now, Toedscruel's not going to be too much for a problem because I've got a multitude of ice moves on my team. So this is a sweeping Ludicolo, a physical set. Ludicolo is a very versatile Pokemon. It can be a physical sweeper, a special sweeper, a defensive, special defensive tank, support. It's really, really good Pokemon. So I'm going to set that rain up. A lot of my Pokemon are damp rock, by the way. I normally wouldn't run so many damp rocks on a normal team, but, for this team I did. So I'm going to get a fat crit there with Waterfall. Didn't really matter, not really, because I had a Pokemon in the back with Swift Swim and Ice Punch, so I didn't think that one mattered too much. And what were they going to do, Spore? So I swapped out my Ludicolo. In comes Low Kicks. Obvious first impression was kind of obvious there. So I swapped back in Basculegion just to take the hit. There were some Stealth Rocks on the field there. So I just sacked off Basculegion because that one wasn't really needed anymore. So what I had left on my team, it was Poliwrath. So the Poliwrath, the last one was a Belly Drum Poliwrath. It was a Swift Swim set. And on it, we had Belly Drum, Drain Punch, Waterfall, Ice Punch. This is actually a pretty strong set. And we had Stella too. And I've got Punching Glove as the item with Swift Swim. I just wanted to show them that I had an Ice Punch, so they didn't think that I got a lucky crit there on their Toad Scroll. Sucker Punch obviously was coming my way. Even if it had Tinted Lens, it was never going to kill. Maybe even a crit, I don't think, even with Life Orb. But anyway, I just finished off the Low Kicks, and that is the end of the battle there. So it performed pretty well. This is probably more of a stronger team that I've used in a while. Some of these sets are pretty good, like Poliwrath and Dreadnought were quite good sweeping sets, like very, very good sweepers for sure. Anyway, let's get on to battle number 3. I have no idea what my opponent's trainer name is here. Someone can translate it, you'd be the GOAT. All right, first Pokemon's going to be Garchomp here. Also, if I battled you in any of these battles in this video, let me know in the comment section. I'd also like to know if I did battle you in the video. So we have Garchomp here. I've got Ice Beam, so I thought this will be a great start. But Garchomp had a Focus Sash. So I was like, okay, interesting. I don't really think a Focus Sash is a very good item on Garchomp. That's my opinion. Virtually only for an ice move are you going to die. Or a really, really powerful Dragon type move. I guess they really, really wanted their entry hazards up there, So I've got multiple options here to go for. I'm just going to choose Ice Beam again. I don't want to reveal all of my moves. A lot of the time, I wouldn't really lead with Basculin because I'd like those Toxic Spikes up on the field to boost up Hex. But in this case, I did have a good reason for that. Anyway, in comes Porygon 2. Now, this trainer was an absolute pain in the backside. They stalled so hard with this Porygon. It was really, really annoying, right? So I needed some powerful Pokemon to get around it, or try to at least. So let's swap in the special Overgrowth. So I really was hoping that I could get rid of this Porygon. So it's like, I'll swap it in, I'll get red card, I'll put the Toxic Spikes down. At least I can poison this pain in the ass, right? So Porygon 2 is going to be swapping out. We got that rain, and we have, this was a very, very strong competitive team, but you can already say that, very, very powerful competitive team. So I was like, gee, I don't know how well this, battle's gonna go. I'll see how much I can squeeze out of this team. So they got a speed boost there, which is a bit of a pain. Some of these Pokemon, like Overcool, didn't have any speed EVs, so even with Swift Swim, I got outsped, but that was kind of interesting too. So it's good to see a few counters to my team there too that were interesting. So Dazzling Gleam is going to take out my Overcool, which was to be expected. But I did get my Toxic Spikes up there. So we're going to bring in Ludicolo. I've got Waterfall. I thought I have to get rid of this Flutter Mane now. It's just too much of a powerful Pokemon. So for some reason, I don't know why, but they were using Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast, and I'm not sure. I don't know the reasoning for that. I mean, it was still hitting very, very hard. So Waterfall's going to drop Flutter Lane, which is good. In comes the Porygon. So I knew this is sort of like one of their backbone Pokemon for their team. So if they lost all their really good sweeper Pokemon, they just send this in and stall, right? So they actually traced my Swift Swim too, which was pretty funny. But since Porygon 2 is very slow, I didn't expect any of my Pokemon to actually be affected by this. So it's got Foul Play, which is not so good against my physical attackers. So I've got Rain Dance on this, and I've got Damp Rock. I know that Porygon 2, there's a good chance it's going to go for Recover here. because I had done a fair bit of damage to it, but it went Thunder Wave instead. So I thought, oh, okay, so it's got Foul Play and it's got Thunder Wave. So, common moves Porygon 2 has for sure. Nothing super creative there at all. So I've taken it below half health. It's now raining and they've got Recover. So I was like, all right, just a sort of a standardy Porygon 2 set. Porygon 2 is the best Everlight Pokemon in the game, hands down. None really come close to it at all. And it can do a lot of damage too. It's very, very good. It's got Trace, best Everlight Pokemon out there, easy. So Foul Play is going to fake my Ludicolo, which was, to be expected there for sure. So I'm thinking, how do I get around this? Can I force a Terror? What can I do here? So I was thinking, I've got Poliwrath or I've got Basculegion. Let's go into Basculegion first. I'm not going to try Poliwrath right now. I thought maybe I could try and set up Belly Drum on its face, but then, it might go for Thunder Wave and then Foul Play and destroy me. So I went for Muddy Water on the Porygon 2 and it missed. That was actually a very, very important miss there because, I would have put it on a lower mana health. They couldn't have weaseled their way out of getting a Recover off, but now they can. So the game gave them a free turn to heal. So I was like, this sucks. So I thought, maybe if I go into Poliwrath, say I go Belly Drum now and they go for Recover, but what if they don't? What if they straight up Thunder Wave me? So I thought, all right, let's go for the Stellar Drain Punch. I know it's not going to have +6, but it's still going to hurt, right? Let's go for that. So I've got that Stellar Poliwrath, and I'm really hoping for the best here. So this has got Adamant Nature too, and its base attack is 95, so it's nothing groundbreaking, but with Stab and Stellar, I thought that was good. But of course, we got a Terra Ghost on it, so I forced their Terra, which is, I did want to do that as well, but I wasn't sure if they had Ghost or they had Normal, right? But now I found out, I was like, damn, what am I going to do against it? So I'm in a really tough spot at the moment. The opponent has a huge advantage over me already, so I'm thinking, how do I get around this, right? I've lost my Hex Pokemon. That could have destroyed it. Now I've only got some Pokemon left here, that can do only a bit of damage, and I can't sit up in front of it. They've got all the counters, right? So I'm just thinking how I can get around this. I either need a critical hit, or I need to put it down to a certain amount of health, or I need to create a play here. So virtually what they did here is I do some damage to them, and then they just go Recover. But since it wasn't badly poisoned, it was only the first stage of poison, right? Normal poison. So it wasn't racking up in damage. I thought, well, maybe here I can get rid of all their Recover PP. That's the best I can really do. I mean, they've only got 8 of it, so there's not a lot, but as you know, once I lost my Rain, then Waterfall isn't going to be hitting as hard, which gives them another free turn to get Recover. And I was also paralyzed as well, so I was like, yeah, that's not going to fly, because if I get paralyzed like one turn, then I'm already not going to be able to feint them. So I thought, all right, Beartic, Sheer Cold. It's my only option here, right? This is all I can do. So then they went for a Foul Play here, and there's a little bit of damage to Beartic. So I thought, let's be real, I've got 2 turns here. I've got Rain Dance and I've got Sheer Cold. I thought, what's more important here, to get the rain up or to feint this, general pain in the ass? Then they swapped. I was like, okay, fair enough. They must be scared of a powerful physical move, and they went into Dragonite. Oh, it's a disgusting shiny. So I have Sheer Cold, and Sheer Cold missed. I was like, to be fair, I was like, I'll just go for Sheer Cold again, right? And they fainted me. So they were a bit lucky there, because any other Beartic would have had an Ice move. So I thought, all right, I think I'm going to lose, because this team is a way better team than mine, obviously, right? So I swapped in Poliwrath. I had Ice Punch with Stellar. Here comes the Extreme Speed, and I lived it, which is really good. And I managed to get an Ice Punch Stellar off. And I thought, well, it won't kill, but it should do some really, really good damage there. So I got some great damage. Like, yes, this is good. Dragonite is going to go for Extreme Speed again. Now, I noticed Dragonite, the damage on Dragonite, it was a little bit higher. And I was thinking to myself, I think that's choice banded from the damage they were doing to me. So I brought in Dreadnought. It's all I've got left. I don't have a Terror to fall back on. I thought, I think you are choiced, or you're definitely gonna swap here. So I went for the Shell Smash, right? So I thought I need to increase my speed and my damage output. So in comes King Toilet, and obviously it's got Supreme Overlord. Not that it's getting much of a boost at all, but I definitely think they've possibly got Sucker Punch here. But I thought, if I go for Earthquake, that'll do some great damage, some really, really good damage. I've got +2 in attack. King Gambit does have a lot of base defense though, so I was a little bit worried about this, but I thought, I mean, I've got nothing to lose, right? Then they withdrew, so I was like, okay, they're scared of losing King Gambit, obviously. So I swapped out the King Gambit, brought in Baxcalibur. So I was like, okay, that's good, that's free damage against Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur has a fair bit of priority too. So I got an Earthquake up against it, good damage, really happy with that. So I thought, well, I won't reveal anything yet. I'll just go for Earthquake. I'm not going to go for Rock Blast just yet. You know, be a smart move just to go for Earthquake. I know they probably know that I've got a rock move, but then they went for Ice Shard. Ice Shard's going to do donkeys even after a Shell Smash. So I was happy with that. And Earthquake's going to take out Baxcalibur. So this is really good. This is really good. I'm trying to make my comeback here. So we know there's a Dragonite with extreme speed. So I thought, I bet you that's going to come in next. And it did. I was like, all right, here we go. Here comes the extreme speed. I've got the drops of Shell Smash, but my typing saved me, right? I still was able to live that really well, and I just finished off with Rock Blast. That's great. So things are going absolutely excellent here. I was like, does King Gambit have Sucker Punch? You know, they would have brought it in, or are they trying to build their Supreme Overlord to the max, right? So in comes Porygon 2. This thing was a thorn in my side the entire battle, just because my team lacked a lot of raw base power outside like of boosts and like, you know, status moves, and that finally goes down there. So that's really good. So I was happy to get rid of this. So I was really happy. I'm like, great, I got back in the game here. Let's see if they've got Sucker Punch or not. If they don't, it's gonna do a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage, but I need to be able to one-shot this because I'm gonna be toast afterwards. So I've got Earthquake, but they had Sucker Punch there. I think, and they got a crit too, just to add some soul to it. But they were being very, very cautious there, because if they lost their King Gambit early on, I might have won that. But anyway, that was a very, very good comeback. That was an extremely sweaty competitive team. They scraped the win at the end there. So very, very impressive battle. Let's get on to the next one. This is battle number 4. If you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. Tell me what's your favorite Swift Swim Pokemon. Or if you were to buff Swift Swim, what would you do as well? Like, would you increase, you know, obviously increases the speed by 2 already, but would you give it anything else? What would you do to it? All right, we got a random battle here. I think that name was Guillermiro or something like that. And we have got a Rhyperior lead. So I set my rain up. I had actually a lucky turn 1 there where Stone Miss actually missed. But it's probably not often you see a Beartic lose the Rhyperior, but that's what happened. I put the rain up anyway for the team. So I thought, all right, I'd say they're definitely going to swap here. It's raining. There's a Poliwrath's Swift Swim, you know, you're going to swap. So they didn't. So I was like, oh no. So I sacrificed half my health with the Belly Drum, and I was going to try and sweep this team because it was a very, very competitive team. So that is the end of Poliwrath. I'm like, oh no, this is bad, right? They didn't go for the swap. All right, let's go on to Overcool now. I'm actually kind of weak to this. It's funny because I've got a team of so many water Pokemon. I was getting destroyed by this thing. So I thought, all right, I'll set my Toxic Spikes up here for the Basculegion, right? I thought that might be a good idea. Now they're going to go for Earthquake, which, you know, doesn't really surprise anyone. And that was too much for Overkill to live, even in a bulky set. So out of nowhere, I've lost half my team. So like, how am I going to get myself back into this game? I should have just attacked them. But I tried to predict them, but they just for some reason they stayed into all those water Pokemon. I have no idea. They had Pokemon that could swap into that easy too, as you'll get to see. Anyway, that's how it is sometimes. Next Pokemon is going to be Trevenant. Here we go, prime example. But since my Overcool set up the Toxic Spikes, I can now go for a double base powered Hex. And that took the Trevenant out easy, because that would have been a bit of a nasty Pokemon. And it was a crit too, holy smokes. This is a full .com Pokemon too, so little homeboys got all these hacked Pokemon off Surprise Trade. This is pretty interesting. So in comes the Grimmsnarl. I thought, all right, you're going to use, you know, you're going to use Light Screen, you know, the usual set, but they didn't. I thought, oh, that's interesting. So Muddy Water does a lot of damage. I even got an accuracy drop there, which is really cool. And they went for Dank Pulse. I was like, what? And that actually did a lot of damage. I'm like, bro, that was like, was that max special attack Grimmsnarl? Like, that's crazy. And it had a Shell Bell as well. Like, what are these .com websites giving out? So I went for another Muddy Water here, got some scum in it, and that is going to take out the Grimmsnarl. That's good. So now I've sort of clawed my way back into this battle, which is good. Our next Pokemon we got is going to be our old potato nose, Conkeldurr. Now, this thing I'm thinking, well, you must have Knockoff, right? Knockoff is a pretty standard move on it. You know, nothing too surprising there. I also noticed I lost my Rain too. So I thought, you know what? This is a Rain Dance, Swift Swim, combination team. I got to get my Rain up, right? Conkeldurr is going to knock off my item. And that's going to be, obviously, they get to see that I've got a Damp Rock, but that wasn't really much of a surprise. Like, I think anyone could have realized I'd have, at least one Pokemon would have a Damp Rock on a Swift Swim team. So we're going to slide into Ludicolo here. We got that Ludicolo. I'm going to go for them. I'm going to clap them cheeks, and we're going to get a little bit of extra poison damage on Conkeldurr. This Pokemon with Guts is, hits very, very hard too. I don't know whether it's got Drain Punch or not. So I've got Zen Headbutt, but I thought I'm going to use Waterfall. I've got the boost from the rain there. I might get a flinch too, and I got one. I was like, oh, that was salty, right? Because the poison actually was enough to take it out. So now we're really on a roll here. We've got Ludicolo all ready to go. Next Pokemon to come out here, another .com, is going to be Scizor. Is that Scissor the tiny? I don't know, actually. It looked kind of tiny, but I don't know. It's Scissor the normal. So I've got Waterfall. I thought, well, I actually probably need to get rid of this. Now, I was thinking they might just go for something like U-turn or X Scissor. So at least if I'm just, tear it into water, it'll be neutral, right? It's still going to do a lot of damage. And at least I still resist Bullet Punch too, because I know that's what their set's going to be. So I go for that Waterfall, that Terra Waterfall in the rain, and Scissor takes that pretty well considering. And I got a flinch there, which is great. Scissor wasn't actually able to attack me, which is really good. So I took that out in 2 shots. So Ludicolo just smashing through the Pokemon at the moment with them flinches. The last Pokemon here we got is going to be Delibird's cousin. I was like, oh man, this is a great counter for my team. This was an excellent counter because it was not only fast, it had Freeze Dry as well, which is very strong against a lot of my water-type Pokemon. So we got a little Timmy Terra here, and I'm thinking, you're probably going to be Ice, and it was Terra Ice. So I thought, okay. That's going to do some good damage, though, but will it take it out? No, I don't think so, because it's actually got a very, very nice defensive stat, even on, sweeping one. So, Light Funnel's actually able to live that and get the Freeze Dry off here. Ludicolo is going to get one shot. There's nothing, it's a sweeping set, right? It's a sweeping set, so that's the end of Ludicolo. Now, I've got one more Pokemon left, so yeah, I had one left here. That's why I wanted that Waterfall damage. And that last Pokemon to swap in here, I thought, is my Dreadnought, right? And I thought, I have to do this, right? So I'm going to go for a Disrespect Razor Shell. And I actually did this in one other battle, and Razor Shell missed. It is 95% accuracy, and it is a pretty bad move. It's not a very good move, but it is a fun move. I thought it'd be cool to have Shell Smash and Razor Shell, and we finished it off there with a little bit of disrespect. And that is the end of the 4th battle there. No, 5th battle. Lots of battles today. We've got 7 battles today. That was a good battle there. Some powerful Pokemon, for sure. I probably could have won that a bit easier if I just went for attacking moves at the start. But who would have knew they'd stay in for that? All right, next battle here. We got a random opponent, and if someone could translate, that would be absolutely awesome. And we got a nice, big, fat, juicy Regigigas. This was actually pretty funny. So Regigigas is going to go for a protection here. It's good to use protection. You guys learn some good skills from my videos. You got to admit. Now, we got this slow start stalling Regigigas. They're going to try and stall as much as possible, but they got a double protect at the start, which is really, really lucky. It's like, man, that's good. So they got 2 turns hiding behind there. Fortunately for me, I was setting up the Toxic Spikes, and I have figured they'd probably go for some stall strategy like, protect, Thunder Waves, Substitute, those sort of things. They tried to go for a 3rd Protect, but this one actually fails. So they're okay. I mean, I would have been pretty salty if they got 3 in a row. So I set up the Rain again, Now I was like, well, I can go for Dank Pulse or Venoshock. Then they popped a Wide Guard. Little homie tried. They get Protect and Wide Guard. I was like, what is this set? I guess they've got like a normal move, and then they've got like all the protection move. They got I don't know, they got one Raincoat and then another on top. So I'm gonna go here and go for another Dark Pulse, right? But they had Crush Grip and it had a normal gem, and imagine using Crush Grip on an Overquill. Like, your hand would have got that would have really hurt. Anyway, I am a tanky set, and the slow start, there was one turn left of it, right? So it didn't do all that much damage. So in comes Bolivia here. It's got them olives. They're actually ready to be picked, you know. When you go up in the tree, you can pick them. I've got an olive tree at the back of my house, and you pick them when they're nice and ripe, right? That is the end of that's the end of that. They got one-shotted, and they're going to set the seed sower up on the field. So there's some grass on the field. So that's good. Now, the next Pokemon we got here is going to be Goodra, Hissus. I was like, oh, this was a very, very good counter to my team. It really was. As you get to see, I really struggled for damage. So they're going to go for Shelter. So Shelter is going to increase that defense there. And this is very bulky. So I thought, there's no way I can break through this. I can't. It's a steel type for one, so it didn't get poisoned by that. Plus there was grass and leftovers. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. It really, let's be real. So they were just spamming Shelter. Let me put this in perspective here. This is like the Porygon 2 from the first battle kind of thing. Like the same sort of thing, right? So I'm thinking to myself, how am I gonna get around this? I can't poison them. Am I going to have to set up on them with, like, let's say Dreadnought sets up with Shell Smash? Maybe I can get around there, but, you know, they've got a lot of shelters up already. And they've also got, did they just use body? Bro, they just used Body Press and went into the spikes. What's going on? That should do some, I feel like that should do some damage, you know? It really should. So I'm going for Dark Pulse. I'm really trying to get a flinch here. It never happened. And it had Dragon Tails. Like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that because there wasn't any entry hazards or anything like that. So we have the Poliwrath coming in. Now, I was like, do I go Drain Punch or do I set the Belly Drum off? Surely they know I'm going to go for a fighting type move and it'll just go for an attacking move. You know, that was my thought process anyway. So the grass is gone, which is probably a blessing in disguise there. And I've got Belly Drum and Drain Punch. So I thought, you know what? Let's go Belly Drum. Let's set up. I know that I don't have the rain up there, but it's still going to be able to demolish this, right? So I've got that +6 attack, and they went Dragon Tail. I'm like, oh, for goodness sakes. that phased me out there. So I'm starting to get salty. I'm like, bro, I just want to get rid of this. So my random Pokemon is going to be, swap-in's going to be Ludicolo. Like, Ludicolo, what's that going to do? That's going to do nothing. You know, and all the time, the Goodra is going to keep getting its health back with leftovers. So I thought I could set up the rain here. This could be a good idea. And I'm probably going to get phased out by Dragon Tail anyway. So there's no point me swapping at this point. This thing would have done pretty nicely with even a Stealth Rock or something like that would have been nasty. So Ludicolo gets swapped out there, which is not much of a surprise. And we got the next Pokemon there being the Overquill. So I thought, I'm just going to let this thing faint. I'm going to do as much damage as possible and let this thing faint. Then I'm going to bring in a new Pokemon so I don't get Dragon-tailed again. So go for Dank Pulse there. Actually getting some okay damage. Dragon Tail at last actually misses, which is really good. So I thought, oh, if I got a flinch here, I might actually be able to take this Pokemon. And, you know, that would be really good, but we'll see. But then they swapped it out. So they didn't want me to fade that after all that stalling. I was like, come on. So now we're going to swap, and we've got, you know, another stalling Pokemon coming in. So Garganacl. So Garganacl is going to be one tough nut to crack, that's for sure, at least with this Pokemon. With my Water-type Pokemon, not so. I should be able to get around it. So then they started going for Iron Defense here. I'm like, all right, it's a Body Press set, you know, same sort of thing. So they had a Shelter Pokemon and then an Iron Defense Pokemon. So I went for Dark Pulse, and of course they had Recover. So that I don't think that surprised no one, right? No one watching this was surprised. So I'm spamming Dark Pulse. I got a crit, like, please flinch, but it didn't flinch. And they got another Recover. What is this? Seriously, yesterday I had these battles, and everyone was stalling, like crazy stalling turn 1 and stuff like that. So I did a swap into Basculegion here. I was like, oh, that's it. I'm going to go for Muddy Water. This should do some really good damage here. It may even force a Terror. So then they swapped with all the iron defenses up because I countered them with the ghost typing. And they have the Regigigas. No, sorry, the Gudra Hisuian coming back in. So Muddy Water, well, it's not going to do too much. It's not very effective. Now, the rain's going to stop. I thought, well, I've got Hex here. What's the worst possible thing they could do here? Dragon Tail or their own dragon move, like Dragon Pulse or something like that. I went for Hex. I wanted this thing. I really wanted this thing gone, and it almost took it out. It's very close. So Dragon Tail is going to phase out Basculegion. That's fine. I'm happy with that because now it's on a manageable amount of health. Any Pokemon on my team can actually take this out. So we're back into Overkill. This is like deja vu for the 2 millionth time here. And I was spamming A here on my controller. Like, let me fake this thing. They never want to lose it. They never want to lose these Pokemon. You know, you battle those people, like, the Pokemon's on like 1 health, but they keep swapping out because they, not for the fact that it's a good idea to swap it, they just don't want to lose a Pokemon. You've done a battle before. I'm sure a lot of you have done a battle like that before. So I set the rain up here. Here comes the body. That would have hurt. That spike would have gone through Garganacl's Salt Block for sure. I actually lived that one, which is cool, and I went for Dark Pulse here, and I got a flinch. I was like, yes, this is really good. But we know they're going to use Recover now, so I swapped out. I thought this is prime opportunity to go into Basculegion when they go for Recover. What are they going to do now? What are they actually going to do? So they've got the Recover up here. As soon as they lose their Gudra or their Garganacl, they're cooked right, because that's like their little stalling core they're relying on now. So next Pokemon Regigigas, so the ground's starting to fall beneath them now. Their little swapping Pokemon are taking a lot of damage. So I thought, all right, that's Regigigas gone. They have to sack this off because they don't want to swap either one in. And then Muddy Water misses. I'm like, come on. What does that miss for? So Regigigas at least is, I thought they may try for Protect there just to stall, but I guess they're poisoned, so it didn't work in their favor. So that's down, which is really good. Not that it posed much of a threat or anything like that. Then they swapped in Chandelure. I was like, ooh, okay. This could have a Choice Scarf. I don't have Rain up. What do I do here? Do I let it go? Do I swap here? Do I go for the Muddy Water? What's my play here? So I thought, let's go for Rain Dance on one of my other Pokemon, and I might sack it off. So I swapped in Basculegion, swapped out Basculegion, and went to Overkill. Had 22 health. I just wanted to see what they're going to do. So they're going to go instantly for a Terra, like the moment they saw that. So I thought, is it Terra Grass? And it's Terra Electric. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting stuff there. So Terra Electric Chandelure. That actually looks really cool because it's like got a massive like light bulb on its head. Like the you've got the Chandelure, but you've also got the light on top of it too. So Overquill's down. That doesn't matter. That was meant to faint like 200 years ago. So we got some poison here, and I'm going to go into Ludicolo. There wasn't any rain up, but I thought, what are you really going to do to Ludicolo? A Shadow Ball? So I clapped them cheeks and Fake Out because it's not a ghost type anymore. I thought I may as well rack up a bit of damage on this thing. I may as well. I've got Rain, and then if I don't faint, I can then go for the Waterfall, and that'll do a lot of damage there. So I got that Rain. Now, it didn't outspeed me, and it went minimize. I'm like, oh, it's a scumbag. All this person has done is stall. Real talk, right? Every one of their strategies has been stalling. So I'm like, all right, let's go Waterfall. It didn't miss, and Chandelure got wrecked. So like, they've got to, like, what are they going to do now? Their stalling capabilities, they don't have a lot left, right? So they've got Gudra and Garganacl left on on a little bit of health. I'm like, all right, that's it. If I go for Terra Water here, it's going to do tons of damage. Should I do that, or should I hold back on the Terra? I was like, no, I'll hold back for a bit. So I went for Waterfall, great damage there, and I got a flinch. I'm like, yes, you're gone now. So that is the end of Garganacl. No more stalling there. So all that's left is that Gudra on like a smidgen of health, and then like one other Pokemon. So I'm ready to go. Next one we got here is Mimikyu. It's like, okay, well, Mimikyu's got Disguise, but I've got Poison down on it, which is really, really good. So I've got Waterfall. I'm just going to break the Disguise with that. and then I can attack it afterwards. And I've got plenty of Pokeball left. Had a lot of Pokeball left on my team still. Then it goes for Drain Punch. Drain Punch does not faint me, obviously. Even with max attack, that wouldn't have been enough to actually faint it. So Ludicolo can go for another waterfall here, but I think it's going to faint the next turn, which is fine. I can bring another Pokemon in. Excellent damage from Waterfall, and we're going to flinch there. So that means the Toxic is going to take it out on the next turn. And after that, they seen this happen. I went to win the battle here with Zen Headbutt, and they salty cancelled. They stalled me for like nearly 20 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I like how they cancel right after 20 minutes of stalling you. Let's get on to the next battle here. This is battle number 6. This one is against Lychee. We got a cool theme team here. Let me know if you can guess what it is. So we've got a Vikavolt lead here. I always like that shiny. It looks awesome. And it landed a raw Zap Cannon right off the ripper there, and that is overcool. That just got sent to the graveyard, right? If you know, you know. So we got the Beartic coming in here. Now Beartic, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit this in with Sheer Cold. I got to troll the trolls, right? So I've got that rain up, and Vikavolt is gonna miss. Thank goodness it missed Zap Cannon, because that would have hurt. That would hurt a lot. And this actually had Blunder Policy. It's like, ooh, will it outspeed me in the rain though? I do have max speed, but I thought, nah, you won't outspeed because it is very, very slow. So I went for Sheer Cold. I do outspeed, which is still good. And Zap Cannon isn't going to be a play. It's going to be Guillotine. I'm like, oh no. This is bad. It's a troll set, and then my Sheer Cold lands. Like, thank goodness. So that is the end of the Man-Eater bug there. I guess it took out one. It took out one monster. It did its job. If you know, you know. There. Next Pokemon we got here is going to be Grimmsnarl. Now, Grimmsnarl's got that Toxic on it, but I have no idea what sort of set we're dealing with. But I thought, oh, I've got Hard Press. So I went for Hard Press. I squished that, and it did pretty good damage there. Then the Grimmsnarl's going to go for Swagger, so it's not a Prankster set at all. Now, Hard Press, I just put Hard Press on there in case I came across any Ice-type Pokemon, because I primarily just wanted to go Rain Dance and spam Sheer Cold, and if it got one KO in the battle, that was a bonus. And stuff like that. So Grimmsnarl's almost down here. I've got this big attack boost. I was like, I hope I don't hit myself with Confusion, because that would really hurt. And then Acrojet, I was able to finish off Grimmsnarl there. But if I hit myself, it's going to do lots and lots of damage. I reckon like quarter to half of my health. So here comes Electros. I can't really do much to it at all. I've got Acrojet or Sheer Cold. Now, Electros is a bulky Pokemon, so I went Sheer Cold. But Sheer Cold's going to miss. I don't know how you miss that. And then it punched me. It punched me with its massive, ginormous fist there. So Sheer Cold really is my only option here, because any other moves were going to do nothing to it. Like Aquajet, it would just get all its health back, right? Then I hear myself a Confusion, and I'm cooked, right? I'm absolutely cooked. So a second Drain Punch is going to be enough to take out the bear. That actually didn't do as much damage as I thought, but then again, I was running, max health. So we're going to bring a Basculegion now. It is raining, and I am going to get wrecked by a water move, but I thought maybe I could go for Terra Water, Muddy Water. That would do a lot of damage, but I thought, nah, I'll save my Terra. So Muddy Water, excellent damage there, and I had Thunder Punch. But since I was running Bulk, I was able to live that one, but they got to paralyze, like, oh no. But with the Swift Swim ability, that would actually allow me to outspeed, but then the rain stopped on that turn. I'm like, oh, are you serious? So that was some bad luck there. So Basculegion, they got the paralyzed right at the correct time. So Basculegion is going to faint. It got outspeed by Electros, only on Pimnite Shadow. Next Pokemon is going to be Ludicolo. Now, if you are wondering too, if you're watching this back, this has been done on the Switch 2 now. So all the battles are now on the Switch 2. As you can see, that's why it's, the game is running very, very nice. So I tried to collect them Electros cheeks, and then I set the rain up there. So the rain is set up once again by the Dancing Pineapple. Thunder Punch hits me really hard. No paralysis though. I was very glad about that. So that is the end of the Electros. So I'm glad that's gone. Such a great Pokemon, Electros. Very, very underrated. Never count that Pokemon out. In comes the Spiritomb. All right. Oh, no, I've got 5 turns to beat it. So we got Waterfall. We're going to go for that. It's got some good bulk to it. So I figured it'd be about a 3-hit KO even in the rain, you know. So Trick Room is up. That actually counted me. Now, I actually versed a couple of Trick Room teams, but they count this team. They counted this team so easily, you know. And then I had a lot of Sun teams, but then they were very meta teams with like Koraidon and stuff. So most of the battles that I had with this team, I either were really, really good ones that I only just would narrowly win, or I only would narrowly lose. There wasn't really any, unless I got a sweep, which is the start there, but there wasn't really anything outside of that, right? A lot of the time, if this team lost, it would lose really badly, because purely because of easy counters, right? That's what I found using this team anyway. So in comes Giratina. Now I've got nothing really here. Giratina's going to go for a Shadow Ball. I need Exodia now. You know, this is where I need Exodia. So we've got 4 Pokemon down. We've got 2 more left. The good thing is I do have a Poison there. That's going to be useful. So we're going to bring a Poliwrath. Now, Poliwrath does have Ice Punch, and I'm really going to need Ice Punch. I thought maybe if I go Stellar, I could get some more damage, but I kind of in the end decided against it. So I went for Ice Punch there, and Ice Punch does about what I thought it would do. Now, my item as well on Poliwrath, I had Punching Glove too. So Punching Glove is going to basically the user's punching attacks have a 1.1 times boost. So it's not a very good item, but I wanted to use that over Citrus Spirit just to boost up those those punching moves a little bit more. So 2 Shadow Balls was nearly enough to take out the Toad. Another Ice Punch there almost took out Giratina after the poison damage. But I held back my Terror, and I'm actually really glad that I did. So the Trick Room is now gone. I've got the speed advantage at last here after being, that Spiritomb kind of messed me up. And Giratina's down, so we've got 1 more Pokemon left here. Now, and actually, this is actually one of my I think my computer was my computer was dying at this point when I was recording too. There might be a few little glitches, but this is actually one of my favorite characters. That's your clue there. It's one of my favorite characters. The ones that they the ones that they use there. So in comes Bennett is going to take out the Poliwrath and use Shadow Ball. So I thought, oh, you're a special set. Now I have used Special Bennett a little bit, and I do know what special moves that it has. So I thought, I haven't terrored yet. I think I'm gonna Terra just in case it has that. If it doesn't, that's fine. I've got Shell Smash on this, this set too. So I thought, I feel like I can live 1 attack and then feint this. I think I might need a Shell Smash to actually one-shot it too, because its attack it's not like super high. It's a pretty good attack set at 115, but I figured if there was any bulk run, I probably wouldn't feint it. So I actually had an idea they would have Thunderbolt if a special set. And I was lucky there. So I got a free setup there with the Shell Smash. If you use Shadow Ball, I might have just badly lived there, right? Because I actually went second. Well, I would have lived because I went second. So now I've got that speed boost. I've got that attack boost. I can go for a Rocket Blast or an Earthquake or a Razor Shell. Now, I was going to go for a Razor Shell because they hadn't terrored yet, but I thought, I wonder what they're going to terror into. Are they going to go, is it going to be a Dark type, to fit it? And it was a Fairy type. So like, wait, why is it a Fairy type for? I'm trying to think. Why is it a Fairy type? Why would that particular card be a Fairy type? Was there like a pink heart on it? I'm trying to think. I can't think of why. I actually can't think of why it would be. Anyway, that's the end of the battle. What a great battle. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Really cool theme team there, too. Let's get on to the 7th and final battle of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it so far. If you have, make sure you drop a like there. Hope you enjoyed the return of the theme teams. I've got so many more videos coming up the remainder of this week and next week, I've got tons of theme teams for you, right? I'll tell you guys some stuff that happened in real life. Like, it completely destroyed me, right? For the last few days. Like, I had an electrical fault in our house, right? Something got moved and just surged the entire house. The neutral wire came out, and then the whole house was like a Christmas tree. I thought stuff was gonna completely, get just blown up. And then after that, the entire garage flooded. And then it was just like one thing constantly, like one after the other. And all these things kept me from doing videos the last few days and stuff, and battles, right? So I do apologize for that. I like to keep a regular content out for you, but man, I've been getting hit by all angles by all this sort of stuff, right? So I hope that's all gone. Anyway, we got a next battle here. This is a random battle. This one is against Dan, and we have Electivire using Thunder in the Rain, which is a bit of a pretty good counter, may I say. So I managed to take out the Electivire, which was good. We also had a King Toilet lead there too. I think I used most of the Swift Swim Pokemon that were available in this game too, because there are quite a few that aren't. So in comes a little Hackmon here. They got that little hat PC. They went for Blizzard. I was like, bro, you could have gone for anything else but Blizzard. So I don't know if they were expecting a swap in there or they just, pressed the A button, but Blizzard missed. So I was able to set up the Rain again, and Porygon Z is going to take some more damage. I went for Venoshock here. Now, normally tonight, as you know, if you're watch my videos and stuff all the time, I generally upload guides tonight. But since I wasn't able to get a theme team out for so long, I just did a theme team tonight. So we might have tomorrow. We're looking at some themed a Pokemon sweep actually, and some guides and theme teams mix for the next few days too, just to make up for those ones. I'm sort of on a schedule of those. I'm trying to get all those done before we have like Gen 10 and stuff. So whenever that's announced. So that is the end of Porygon Z there. Porygon Z is finally free, and we got King Toilet coming back in, So we've got. I'll tell you guys what happened with my garage getting flooded too. So it just rained cats and dogs, and I mean really rain, right? So what happened? The drain in front of the garage completely filled up. It's a massive drain. It's really really good, right? But I had some concreting done like a year ago, and from then it hasn't really rained really hard, but some of the wash off, like the sand and probably a little bit of concrete and stuff like that, had gone down there and completely blocked it up. So it was a really really slow release, but I didn't notice it before then because it would drain. You wouldn't have that level of water coming, but then out of nowhere a swimming pool got dropped on my house, so it just flooded the entire thing. So I got this ginormous stake and just, crushed it all up. And then there was this massive sort of noise and it just emptied in 3 seconds. I'm like, okay, I wish I knew that. But, it is what it is, right? And it took me like 5,000 towels later to completely dry all the garage and stuff like that. So, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning and stuff like that. So, good times, right? Good times. If there's any plumbers out there, if you know, right? And sand as well. I had to get my hand in there and grit the sand out. Like it was crazy. There's more down there, but I think it's okay. But I don't know. You'd have to like really get a power hose or something down there, or like hydrochloric acid or something like that, because that doesn't eat the pipes and stuff. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, sorry. So we got a Milotic coming out here, and it is poisoned, and it is raining. I know that surprised you very much on a Swift Swim team. So there wasn't much I could do to Milotic, so I just tried to spam Zen Headbutt here. That's really all I could do. Then I got Q-Charmed by. I was like, what? And most people actually run competitive, but that did make me laugh a lot. I don't think Milotic had very many moves to hit me with either. Being a water type Pokemon, what do I have? Like maybe Recover, Hydro Pump. So I was hoping I could get around this Infatuation, but my Pineapple got immobilized by Love. Oh, they had Dragon Pulse. That was their coverage move there. And they also got a crit on it too. So that is going to be the end of the Milotic on the next turn, whatever happens. And unless they have Recover Eye. So Ludicolo was standing there, infatuated by the cute charm Milotic, but this turn, it took a cold shower and then, it got over it. If you know, you know. That's 4 Pokemon down. So things are going pretty swimmingly right now. Next Pokemon we got is Gallade. Now Gallade is also going to get poisoned. So my my that's the thing. The only thing about that is I've lost both the Pokemon that can really do anything to poison Pokemon. So I went for Waterfall, and they're going to unload a Psycho card. So that's the end of the Pineapple, which is cool. That didn't come as much as a surprise. So we got some toxic damage, but Gallade's got one more turn left. So I thought I'll swap in Beartic here because I've got Aqua Jet. You know, Aqua Jet can take them out. And I thought, let's go for a Disrespect Hard Press. And it was a disaster. So that teaches me not to troll people, right? Because they're like, this is going to be like the lowest base power of Hard Press because I only have a little bit of health left, right? Because that move is all based on how much health the opponent has. So lots of health, lots of damage, little health, terrible damage. So that was my own fault there. I tried to troll, the trolling failed. So I thought, all right, it's fine. It is what it is, right? I've got this one in the bag. So I brought in my Dreadnought here, and we got Duraludon. So I thought, all right, this is okay. Duraludon, I can go for an Earthquake. I could go for a Shell Smash here. Let's just go for an Earthquake. Let's hit it up, Great damage, almost took it out, but then it had Thunder as well. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I just lived on 9 health, and then they paralyzed me. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, how did this go from me completely dominating this battle? Like, it all went downhill once, and then I got paralyzed in the rain. Yeah, so it all went downhill when I went for hard press, and then Thunder from down under, paralyzed, and then, yeah, so I had one Pokeball left, and it was Poliwrath. So I thought, well, Poliwrath can outspeed this, but then the rain disappears. I'm like, uh-oh. If this has got max speed, I'm in trouble, right? So I do have Stella. I thought I'll go Stella Drain Punch. So if I do get hit by Thunder, I should be able to live this. I was confident, but you never know. You never know. They had some pretty good luck so far. So we got that Stella Poliwrath. It actually looks really cool. It's got that massive, it's got that turtle, it's a frog and a turtle. We had a double terror on my, oh no, if this has Ghost, I'm cooked, right? If it has Ghost, I'm cooked. But they had Terra Psychic to, oh no! So it's like, oh no, they're gonna resist the fighting move. They Galaxy Brain me. All right, so I went for the Drain Punch. I was like, this is gonna live, I know it is. And it just lives. I'm like, oh no. Thunder misses, thank goodness the rain was gone. And that's it. I thought, you know what? Let's go for a Disrespect Drain Punch, which is actually going to faint them this time. And that is going to be the end of the battle. If you enjoyed all these battles in this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. It's not going to hit itself. And drop me a comment below. Hope you had a good day or afternoon or whatever your time zone is today. Peace out, everyone.